breakfast puppies?
This podcast contains adult language and content and is meant for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Glitterbois.
So if you've been listening to this show for a while, you know a few things about us. We like maps, we like lore, and we like the non-constraint of lots of things to do. We like places that we can fit ourselves and our characters in, but not be led down the primrose path and just told what to do. In that vein, and in light of the 40th anniversary of Palladium Fantasy that is upon us, we bring to you today the adventures in the Northern Wilderness and the further adventures in the Northern Wilderness.
If you listen to our WagonCon promotional, which we just recorded about 2 minutes ago, you might know that this is the 40th anniversary of the Palladium role-playing game. And if you didn't, well, you just heard it now for the first time. Congratulations. I hope you accept this news with grace and kindness and joy the way that I have, because I fucking love the Palladium Fantasy role-playing game. And I love these two books. They are both slim tomes, so we kind of figured it would make sense to sort of put them in the same episode.
Yeah. I have a very serious question that I need a very serious answer to.
All right.
Is Eric Talbot or Larry McDougall one of the people who worked on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yes. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
McDougall at least was.
It was, but I know it's not Eastman or Laird. Those are the names I know.
Mm-hmm.
But god damn, some of this art just screams old school
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to me.
McDougall also did a lot of art in the Shadowrun role-playing game
Yeah.
source books, first and second edition era. McDougall is one of my favorite game book artists.
Oh, he's great.
This grungy, evocative style, which is
Mhm.
fascinating because a lot of artists today, there's this new trend in a lot of the indie artists for indie RPGs, and especially in the old school Renaissance scene, that are going back to this style where it's
I love it.
not really like super overly lined out, and it's got, just
It's
smudges
a
and-
sketch. Yeah.
yeah, but it's not. It's like a sketch, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's like somebody made something look like a sketch and defined it, but I don't know. It's hard to describe. If you get a copy of this book, folks, it is fantastic. Open the first flap, and that
Yeah.
piece right there on page 1, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it also has right there at the beginning something I've never seen before by Kevin Long, which is a landscape. It's real pretty.
Yeah.
It's super pretty. It's just a landscape. No geometrically perfect robots vaguely gesturing. No bat awkwardly transforming into a man as it falls.
Mm-hmm.
No psycho crazy. Just a pleasant northern landscape. And a pleasant northern landscape is the exact opposite of what is actually going on in the Northlands of Palladium Fantasy. So, apropos of nothing, let's talk about legionary wolves.
Well, hold
Roman
on.
wolves.
I love the counterpoint to this picture is this nice, pleasant snow thing. And directly opposite on the other page are the two words, killing winters.
Winters.
We just have all of these pages about survival in the cold, and they are brutal.
Now, honestly, and I'm only speaking to some experience I have of working in Alaska and on the sea and the Bering Sea and whatnot, but a lot of this is very correct. Like, this isn't just shooting from the hip. Like, someone at least, what was this, the 90s? Someone at least opened, what did they used to call Google? They used to sell them door to door. It was encyclopedias.
Yeah.
Someone opened an encyclopedia. What did they used to call Google? Encyclopedias.
The phone book, the encyclopedia. Yeah. And grandpa.
Yeah.
Who might know some weird things about the past.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly true. And even down to the Like they get away from that into the blood winters. Is that in this one?
Yeah.
Blood snow winters. Like that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing that fucking sucks.
Yep. Yeah. These, just the first 2 pages right there are just like about death and gruesomeness, and it's wonderful.
And snow.
Yeah.
And it really sets the tone, which is good, because a lot of this after that is not so tonal. It's this is what's going on. This is who knows what. This, it's fairly standard, but this gives a very good picture of just the landscape in 2 pages. And like, I personally felt it. Like it was written in such a way that it cast itself right into my mind's eye very well.
Yeah. So anyway, you were talking about Legionnaire wolves. Yes. Yes. I love it.
Yeah. The Wolfen tribes. So if Rome was run by upright bipedal wolves, who actually have a pretty good sense of government and community and inclusiveness, and like as I read this, I'm like, they are really nice to their client states.
Yeah. Like one of the things that they keep coming back to in the tone and one of the themes is that the Wolfen are culturally pragmatic.
Mm-hmm.
They take a pragmatic view to almost everything, including religion, but that covers the finances, that covers bureaucracy, that covers the way that they fight, the way that they spread, the way that they deal with outsiders, and so on. It's fascinating, this delve into how they structure their government.
Mm-hmm. And how their relations with the various races, their ability to have a voice in the council, what the councils are, the various checks and balances within. This is a fully fleshed out society.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, like, they talk about their the constitution of the 12 tribes.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wanted to see that, because what they've written about it and what it does is fascinating. And I honestly wanted to see the document itself. That was my immersion there.
I like that they have an interesting history that is founded in a collective moment of shame and tragedy, where all of the tribes which used to be warring did a very bad thing, and then all looked at each other like, okay, shit, that was too far.
Yeah.
We don't want to ever do that again. And thus the empire was born.
Yeah, let's just say there used to be more than 12 tribes.
Yeah.
There's a lot on it. Like, we could go in bit by bit if you want. Half the book is the flavor of the area, what's going on, what the states are, what the trial states are, what the affiliate states are, what the unsecured people, was that what they were calling it? Something like that.
What do we have? Okay, so the structures that they have are the member states, then they have the imperial states, then they have the imperial provinces,
unsubdued. That's what it was.
The trial states, and then after that they have the affiliate races, and then they have the unsubdued peoples.
Yeah. Which is also humans.
And what I really enjoy is, so several episodes back we covered Phase World, and in Phase World, one of the running themes of Phase World was X, but in space. And they had the Wolfen, but in space. And one of the character classes that you could be was like a traveling bionic Wolfen lawkeeper called the Wolfen Quatoria. And it's a nice little reference here to on page 9, the Quatoria.
Officer of the law.
Yeah, officers of the law.
I do like this takes all the admirable parts of the Greco-Roman Empire and times, and kind of gets away from all the bullshit parts of the Greco-Roman times.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the SCA, history as it should be, but with wolves.
So also, there's a fascinating trend that we see up to this point, or so far through this look back through the early Palladium fantasy setting books. We started with the old ones, which covered the Timuro Kingdom. Then we went into Adventures in the High Seas, which covered several other places, such as the Kingdom of Women that Hate Men or something, the Kingdom of Byzantium, or the basically the Greeks, and then the Cyclops, the nation of the Cyclops. And then we get up here to the Wolfen. Now, up to this point, every single government that we've met and been introduced to has been terrible, except for maybe the Cyclops. The Byzantiums weren't all that bad, but for the most part, civilization that we have seen up to this point in the Palladium world is corrupt, collapsing, and full of awful people trying to outdo each other. And here we have this I don't know, this bastion of sensibility and camaraderie. And up until this point, again, all we've heard about the Wolfen Empire, all the mentions of the North, is those terrible beasts and how they're going to conquer the world.
Yeah, they will, because everyone wants to go live there.
Well, maybe they should.
Yeah. I just want to say that the Wolfen trains were always on schedule. It's interesting because in a lot of Palladium properties and, areas, and throughout all their games, they will flesh out something and you're like, okay, well, it's another state run by X, and this is the guy who's trying to do something bad from the inside, the Grand Vizier type. And this is the elder thing that's the horror behind the throne, and yada, 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 yada. There's a lot of that. What I really, really like about this book is that this is just, it works. It works. It sounds like a pleasant place to live. The winters might be a little rough, but it works.
Yeah. The tribes come together, and
it's a good government.
Yeah. Agreed. These guys are pretty rad.
Like if it was real, I'd go there. Like it sounds more tolerant and better run than what we have going on here now. So
anyway, the rest of the book and the second book really is devoted to adventures. And they are lengthy and detailed and full of twists and turns and histories, long scribing text of quotes from like legends and tales, the Tristine Chronicles, which we've seen mentioned several times now, and people who are cribbing off of the Tristine Chronicles, and these are some pretty good adventures, and they have some pretty good art, I think.
Yeah, I like even going way back to the beginning, page 15, the long Roman Wolfen there with the Pillium and the Gladius. Yeah. Oh no, well, that's not a Gladius, that's the stabbing sword. Anyway, he looks freaking just badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I also like the runes. I always love when they put in writing things and like flavor pieces like that, where you can scrawl it down on a piece of paper, dip it in your teapot so it gets all yellow, dry it out, singe the edges, and hand it to your freaking players. I mean, I love that kind of stuff.
And I love the Talbot art that perfectly, in my opinion, balances out the McDougal stuff.
Yeah.
Like the full page here on page 20 of this group of pirates. Amazing. The page, the picture of Ripley, the almost dead Wolfen, on page 24. These are gorgeous. Oh.
So you're going to get with the rest of this. This isn't a campaign. This isn't Under Mountain or anything like that. You're going to get a lot of bits that strike me as 1 to 2 night bits. 1 to 2 meeting adventures. That said, it wouldn't be too hard as I read through these to tie some of them together into an actual campaign.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that difficult at all. They all mostly take place either, deep in the wilderness or near some mountain ranges. And of course, when you get into the second book, book 5, Further Adventures in the Northern Wilderness, they're all much easier to string together because I think they all take place in that same mountain range at the southern edge of the wilderness. Yeah. There's,
so many.
Palladium, up to this point, we've seen in the fantasy line specifically, they don't hold back on these adventures. No. All of them follow, I wouldn't say there's a formula to it, but there are certain running themes, and some of those, one of those themes is an almost unstoppable juggernaut of some kind is going to appear.
Yes.
Really tough choices between great wealth, great power, and not dying.
Mm-hmm.
These are recurring themes in a lot of their adventures. We've seen this in the first book, Tombs of Gersidi, which is basically a max level epic adventure in the core rules. In old ones, we saw a massive campaign that could potentially involve the player characters unleashing an old one, a Cthulhuoid god on the world. We've got this. The first adventure in here can involve them awakening a demon sword that transforms them into Necrom the Juggernaut or something like that.
And recall this is a Palladium demon sword. Okay, we're talking Elric level relic stuff. We're not talking it's the singing sword of the Elfway. No. Palladium.
Yeah. And all of these adventures kind of do that. Which is the one with the fucking dragon?
Which one? There's a couple.
It's
The long one.
The
with
long
all the
one
big
north
guys.
here's the end. The Ceratus Dominus, the dragon of corruption.
It's Avaxia's Gate. Because Avaxia's Gate has the dragons too. I think
the Forest of Broken Wings is the one I'm looking at. Yeah.
There's a lot of really good things. This is maybe a 10-page adventure here. Lots of little maps, a lot of NPCs. And the adventures get longer as things go. The Forest of Broken Wings, that one's cool too.
Yeah, these are all really good, and they all start small.
Mm-hmm.
Another running theme is that there's usually some kind of a plucky, helpful NPC that joins, often in the form of either a child or a wise mentor that comes to find assistance for a noble cause.
Murder hobos don't do well with these kind of things because you kill the thing that'll save you and guide you through.
Yeah, that's another running theme with a lot of Palladium adventurers. They turn your murder hobo expectations and play on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just flipping through this again after reading it. I was impressed by this book. I have to say, this and its follow-up just required reading. Speaking of the follow-up, do you want to just keep going in that direction?
Yeah. Let's keep going. I mean, again, the adventures get more detailed, focused on a specific area. We've got towns, we've got a few maps, but and both of them have my favorite things in the world: random encounter tables.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. In the back of this book, before we move to the first, there's something that already happened, and I wish to God I had caught it while it was happening. To buy the cover of this book, which is a great cover with undead rising out of this frigid mountain pool as a shamanistic wolfen summons them forward, you could actually buy the art print for the low price of $35. And God, I wish I was there to have done that. But still,
Keith Parkinson did the cover of the Ventures in the Northern Wilderness, book 4.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a number of books. I believe number of Palladium books. In fact, I believe he did the classic Butts edition cover.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we get to further adventures. It feels very Den. The cover of this one, it's not like Corbin style, but the colors remind me of an old Richard Corbin heavy metal, late 70s, early 80s. Lots of purples, lots of lime greens, and lots of blues.
And we've got all this wonderful Larry McDougall art inside. Love it.
And right there to strike you right at the middle, we have a child sketch of mountains. some lovely napkin art.
Yeah. No, I mean, it just shows the basic relation of all the little towns and adventures that you'll see right there at the beginning. It's an interesting place to put it right there in the table of contents.
It struck me as very weird.
Yeah. At first, I admit, when I first looked through this and preparing for this episode, I had forgotten it was there. So I looked through this and I'm like, wait a second, did I get an autographed version or something? Did somebody draw that? But all of this takes place in the southern range of mountains in the northern wilderness that separates it from the Eastern Territory. And this area is known as the Bones of Bellamar.
Or Brugal Bellamar.
Mm-hmm.
I know I said that wrong because I always do. I like, who is it? Who's doing this? This is Thomas. No, this isn't Thomas Miller. Is this McDougall?
Are we talking about the art?
Yeah.
Almost all McDougall. That page 7 piece. Oh, I love it.
Where it's just like page 5, where it's just this critter with this big thing just trudging through the snow.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about this, and you will hear this, and you will hear this another 30 times as you listen to us in the years in the future. No one is constipated. No one is leaping. You are seeing this monster on his way to stand and guard wherever he's guarding, and he is leaving his home and trudging through the snow to go to work, to be there when you show up, adventurer. And you should be grateful, and you should be happy that he cares. Because that's what it looks like to me. This is a guy going to work to stand behind a pillar to club anyone. And God, he hopes somebody comes by today, because the last week no one came by. And he's bored as fuck.
He's on his way to guard a 10 by 10 room with a chest in it. He's late to work.
I just love that picture. I love it so much.
Well, even the next page, if we flip forward, there's a full page piece, same artist, page 7, and it shows a fight in action. Again, this isn't angry, constipated fighters in action poses. You have dirty, grungy adventurers in over their heads. Out of them. like the dude on the right who's like, oh, he just laying there rubbing his head. What the fuck did I get myself into?
As the giant with the like arrows sticking into him. Just like, it's like, yeah, it's good art. It's just good art. I like, there's a person in half on that one, I think, over by the log at the bottom left. And then it's like half a dude.
Wow.
Oh, there's the rest of him.
Yep.
Okay.
You can picture on the far right that wolf in the corner just going, no, stab him there. No, stab him there.
Like, listen, you Roman piece of shit, we're dying over here. So that was a frost giant, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, and it starts out with your favorite thing, lots and lots of random encounter tables.
Yeah. Lots of random encounter tables.
Yeah, for various settings, mountains, hills. I want to talk about this real fast. Page 14. The stab as he leans back guy. I saw that on the back of so many comic book covers.
What, that
like
pose?
on the back page? No. This picture. Yeah, order this, and and old Marvel and DC stuff.
Oh, it's a good one.
This is actually the first picture I ever saw for Palladium Fantasy. And I just remember it now because it was brutal for the time. Like, this guy is like, he's leaning in, his sword's coming through the guy. It's cool. And
and these aren't comical D&D monsters he's fighting.
No.
They are going to rip him apart. He is in a life and death fight. He is being pushed over. Like, this is to me what fantasy adventuring looks like. It is not glorious. It is brutal.
This man was about to die, and then he rolled really well and got his sword through, Yep. But he's still in real trouble because he's about to land on him and his buddy's right behind.
Yeah. And McDougall, I think, is so good at that.
Oh, I love his work.
Yeah. And then, of course, we flip one page and we see yet one more nice little colorful piece about the world. You get some mountains and some trees and some very detailed, interesting trees, not your typical, forest oaks and stuff. And then over here, we've got a smiling slice of life picture of a wolfen storyteller talking to some wolfen kids that are just like having some beers. It's, God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
The art takes an already good piece of work and makes it just superb. And then we get to region, something like that.
Yeah. Another Palladium town full with a map and keyed locations, each with one or more paragraphs giving you a detail on who runs this establishment and why are they interesting. So each and every one of these entries is a potential adventure seed, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. The sheer amount, it's such a hard thing because a lot of us, especially today, in our hyper segmented society, we want this is what you do, and then you have this, and then you have a choice. You can go this way or this way. The sheer openness of the design of Palladium lends itself to you, the player, and it's just I fucking love it. I do. Allow me to fanboy.
It's so open-ended. The adventures are open-ended. Again, they all follow here's the thing, here's a place, and here's some things that are going on at that place. Here are some hooks that will take you to the next location that we think is interesting. Here's what's going on at that place. And yeah, and all of them are like, how to tie this into your campaign? Well, remember room 17, that little throwaway thing? Well, maybe you can take that and turn that into something. Or, you know, room 341. Well, we did mention that this one guy was here, but this would be a great place to put a recurring NPC from your games, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, it's
like you could literally do the flip through, drop your hand in somewhere in the flip, and that can be it. And it just works. The whole book works.
Yeah.
I love page 28, the art there, followed by the one on 29.
It's all wonderful. All of it.
Yeah.
I have a hard time picking a favorite. Wait, no, I don't.
It was the one I told you about on 14 for me, just for sheer nostalgia.
My favorite is page 41.
I thought you were going to go with the troll lady, but okay.
The troll lady is she is awesome. She is.
Yeah.
That's again. It's another. She just looks pissed off.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
I have this.
So much going on.
I have this as a wallpaper on many
Nice.
of my devices. This is it's just the heroes, the adventurers. But again,
Just walking.
it's not an action pose piece. And it's also, they don't look like they're smiling. They're definitely not smiling for the camera. They all look pissed off.
Yeah, they just lost.
Yep.
The
lady on the left, she's probably got a severed head in that bag.
That's what that looked like. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, the guy on the far right looks pretty fucking battered. They all look pretty fucking battered, honestly.
They look battered. Their weapons are not in good condition. Their clothes
clean.
are not in good condition. This is adventuring. Adventuring isn't like, super awesome action poses. It's dirty adventurers who have suffered a lot and are on their way back to town to probably, hopefully, take a bath.
I was just going to say on that, yes, new t-shirt. Adventuring smells bad. Or
yeah, they smell terrible.
Yeah.
You can smell this picture and it is not pleasant.
Smells like blood and a little too much self-pee-pee for.
Yeah.
But
you know what else is charming about this picture? To me, even though this is clearly a McDougal piece, the bottom part of it harkens back to the whimsy inherent in many of Kevin's Siembieda's pieces.
Yeah. The Fae people doing the...
Like, it's a dirty, grungy picture, a bunch of pissed off guys coming back from an adventure. They probably failed. But at the bottom, you've got these whimsical little fairies hinting at some kind of mischief about to happen to these people.
Yeah.
To piss them off even more. Yeah.
Like, this is literally what happens when you don't listen to the quest giver. You tell him that you don't need him. And this is like, this picture feels like the result to me. It's like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. We barely fucking survived. We're broke. We're going to spend more money than we made in repairs. This is just dumb.
Yeah.
I should have been a blacksmith.
Even the picture on the last page, page 48, the aftermath of a fight. It's wonderful. You've got the fucking shell-shocked dude in the middle is like, never again, never again. You get the guy with his fallen friend. You got a little casual conversation happening over to the side.
The guy getting fucking drunk.
It's like,
yeah, this is the only thing that kills it, man.
These are wonderful.
And it was available at the low price of $8. And goddamn, could you have not spent a better $8 at the time?
Yeah. I bought this in pristine condition a few years ago from Guardian Games for $12.
Still a great buy. Yeah.
Great buy. Yeah.
Yeah. Guardian Games doesn't do that anymore, but okay.
Yeah. This was, I think, right before they got new owners. Yeah.
Oh, you mean before they became the Apple Store?
Yeah.
For freaking.
I don't want to put them down that hard. There's still good people that work there.
Yeah, there are. I shouldn't say that, but when I went in and I asked, so where do you guys have the Palladium? And the people looked at me like I had said, so where's the two-headed dog sex show? You know, like they literally had no idea what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. You know what? Let's add a positive note to that, though. A while back, you had mentioned another place, and it was in Vancouver. It was something about minis. Mindtaker
Miniatures.
That place.
I spent all weekend playing a 40K game there, and it is fantastic. I love it. It is all used games.
I've heard nothing but fantastic stories about this place. You were the first person who mentioned it to me. And its funny thing is, the day after you mentioned it to me on that episode that we recorded, the day after, completely unconnected to our conversation, other people were like, oh man, I just went up to this place. And they're like, oh yeah, I found all these games, and they had some used stuff, and they had some Palladium. And I was like, whoa,
yeah, I've been putting it out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are so good. And the people who run it and the people who work there are genuinely friendly. The owner and I believe his wife come up and they like introduce themselves when you walk into the store. Like it is a great place. It is truly a great place.
Somebody said, and this might have been in our Discord group. No, it was either in our Discord server or maybe it was a Google review of the place that I looked up and saw that someone had posted that they had a problem with an order on the website, because you can actually order all of their stock from their website.
That's where I first found them. I've been ordering from them for years. I had no idea they were right there.
Well, they had a problem with it, and the website has a live chat to chat with a support person, and it was 12:30 in the morning, and someone immediately answered.
Nice.
So that's customer service.
Yeah. No, I can't speak highly enough of them. They are great.
So I'm going to be checking this place out tomorrow, actually. I'm glad you brought them up. Yeah.
So as you go in, there is a giant like freestanding sand table, and it is filled with bits, which are just bits of like 40K and War Machine and Dungeons and Dragons, and it's all like the miniature bits that you don't use. And it's like, dude, it's like 50 pounds of them. You can pick it up like Scrooge McDuck in his freaking vault and go.
So can you just like dip a shovel in there and take like a pound?
Well,
of bits?
you can, but they sell it by the ounce. So
okay,
I mean, but yeah. And as you go by that, just go to the back wall, just right by the bits table. You will see all the stuff that I know you and I love. We're talking old Shadowrun. We're talking Vampire the Masquerade. We're talking the Palladiums. Alternity is back there. A Song of Fire and Ice, all that really good old stuff. Just head right past the bits, and you will love everything there.
I need to change my pants. That sounds wonderful. Yeah,
and that's where I got rid of all my D&D. Like last month when I said I was going to do that, I actually went ahead and did it.
Oh, so they'll buy you stuff?
They will buy you stuff and give you a really decent amount of in-store credit, or just pay you out cash.
Okay, well then. I have a stack.
I know.
I have a stack to get rid of, so maybe I can get some bucks for it. That'd be great.
Yeah. But yeah, I highly recommend it, man.
So anyway, Palladium.
Oh, yeah.
Adventures in the Northern Wilderness. They might even have a copy there. And if they do, folks here in the Pacific Northwest, swing by and pick it up.
You know, I didn't mean to turn that into a commercial for but I'm really excited by them.
I'm excited to go there tomorrow, so that's fine. Yeah. So, as we have done, typically you lead this section. As Matthew, do you need these books?
Yes. This is an unqualified yes. I would say that if I was of a limited budget and for some reason these were hard to get, I need one more than two. For the Adventures in the Northern Wilderness more than Further Adventures in the Northern Wilderness. but both of these are truly, truly amazing books. And there is enough there for a lifetime of gaming, just in those two books and the core. You could run years of campaigns just based off that information.
Yeah.
It's several campaigns.
It's not even 150 pages between the two of them.
It is such an amazing piece of work when you combine it with the open-ended play style of Palladium and the just the core book. You could take these two books and the core book and play with a group for the rest of your life and never do the same thing twice.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
So to answer your question, I mean, you don't need them, but God, your life is so much richer with them in it. You totally need them. And are they getting re-released too?
They might. Okay. Palladium Fantasy 2nd edition a while back released a book called The Wolfen Empire, which, if I understand correctly, contains the contents of these two books and more. I haven't confirmed that. We'll get to it eventually. It's in the line, but it's down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to work our way towards modern, right?
Yeah. We've got 2 more books in 1st edition before we hit 2nd edition.
Yeah. And just like everything else, 2nd completely works with 1st, right? You can still play it.
You have to take the numbers and dial them down if you want to take a 2nd edition source book and play it in 1st edition. And similarly, if you want to take 1st edition material to 2nd edition, you got to take the numbers and kind of juke them up a bit.
But the base way of playing is entirely the same, right?
It's entirely the same. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I know a lot of the 1st edition content has been updated to 2nd edition. And if Kevin's emails hold true from the last few weeks, they are in celebration of this year, the 40th anniversary of the 1st edition game. They are taking the last 2 1st edition books that have not been converted to 2nd edition and converting them.
I'd like to be very, very clear here for people who may not be familiar. I would just like to say that while there is a polished 2nd edition, you can play anything there with a little common sense back and forth. This is still one system, whereas like in Dungeons and Dragons or 40K or any of the other things, there are dramatic changes between the systems. These are just updates. This is errata, or this is like reorganizing and putting things that really should have been together, but we thought up later, so it's in a separate book, all into one place. It's any way you can buy these things, you should. Is what I suppose I'm trying to say.
All right, then. Well,
yeah.
Join us on Discord, folks. We have a very active Discord server. We love chatting with all of you. And on that Discord server, we do all kind of fun things. Like we run game servers for things like Valheim and Conan Exiles. And, you know, we have streams sometimes with people, or we just hang out and talk and we have a good time. We have impromptu meetups for drinks. It is a fun place to hang out. We encourage you to join us wherever you are in the world. Drop in and say hello, and let's all talk about our love of Palladium games and other nerdy things.
Yeah. I almost was streaming what I was up to the other day. I gave it some serious consideration.
Well, consider it again next time you're on, and
I will.
That button.
What an amazing thing! You know what? I almost did a thing. Wow! Well done, Matthew. Anyway, thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you in the next one.
Cheers.
Starships, magic, mystic martial arts, romance. All of these can be found in A Cloak of Blades by Isaac Scher. You might have heard my name before. I've done a lot of voiceover work for Breakfast Puppies, and I've recently released my first novel. It's available on Amazon as an ebook and paperback, and you can get it for free if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription. I do hope you'll support my work as you're supporting Breakfast Puppies, and it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Have a good one.
You've been listening to The Glitterbois, a Palladium Books fan podcast. Glitterbois, Rifts, the Megaverse, and all other such topics are the property of Kevin Siembieda and Palladium Books. Please buy all their stuff and help keep them in print and making more games. You can order directly at palladiumbooks.com, and their entire catalog is available digitally at Drive-Thru RPG as well. Our opening music is 8-Bit Bass and Lead by Furby Guy from freesound.org. This closing music is Caravana by Philip Gross, available at freemusicarchive.org. All sound effects used are self-made or acquired via Creative Commons Zero license. If you like what you have heard, find us on Twitter and Facebook as The Glitterbois. That's BOIS. And check us out online at breakfastpuppies.com/glitterboys. And also join us on the Breakfast Puppies Network Discord at breakfastpuppies.com/discord. And if you want to help us out, please spread the word and help us build a community. Thanks again for listening. We'll catch you next time.